The NFL Combine has
Nipple
finally
Combine!
come. We're on a little come down from the Super Bowl. We're like, there's no football to talk
Coming
about.
down.
All of a sudden.
But bringing it
Combine.
up.
What are you talking about, Mike?
Coming down, bringing it up with the combine.
Okay, yep, we're bringing it up with the Combine.
Peeking
This
at the
Thursday
draft.
to Sunday, we get to see all the draft picks perform, except for some of the best ones.
Yeah, a lot of
Aston
people.
Genty, Abdul Carter,
teams?
Shador Sanders, all sitting out for different reasons. Shador sitting out because he's too good for it. Abdul Carter's shoulder was completely broken in the playoff game.
Wham,
Shit's not
wham.
healed yet. Ashton Genty, there's no reason for him to do it. He's also kind of recovering from taking 90 hits in the Penn State game.
Yeah.
Some of them from Abdul Carter. But they'll all have pro days as well. So when we're talking about Combine, I want to talk about how we think players are going to perform. If they're not doing the Combine, you can still talk about how you think they're going to do at the pro day, and then how we think they're going to be looked at after they're done with this evaluation period. First off, I want to start with the most exciting event. We got the 40-yard dash.
Aye.
I know there's a lot to it, Mike.
40.
I know that's
Mike
your
wants to talk about the 40.
Yeah,
I was gonna
This is
say,
Mike's
Mike's
phone.
phone.
This is Mike's
Let's
phone.
talk about
event.
the
This
40.
is Mike's event, because last year I'd never seen someone get so excited for a Combine when
X
Xavier
gonna give
Worthy
it to you.
broke the record.
Huh.
There's some rumblings this year about someone potentially breaking that,
Rumble
and that being a
Johnson.
chance. So we can go around. I mean, we can kind of open this up too to whatever the hell you guys want to talk about the Combine. I have a couple things I want to mention, but first I want to start with the 40. I think there's only one answer for who's going to run the fastest time, and I also think this guy's draft stock is going to go ridiculous after the Combine, and that's Arian Smith.
Oh, yeah, for sure,
Um,
100%.
We have friends that are Georgia fans, and all season long they were talking about how terrible of a wide receiver this guy's been since he was a highly recruited player.
Mean deep
but
ball,
that
though.
he's just retarded fast. Literally, that's his special need is being fast. But he cannot catch a football.
It's wild.
He's like Xavier Worthy
That's
without
all.
hands, like Kadarius Toney almost, but faster. This guy Arian Smith was a track star, first team All SEC in 2021 at Georgia.
Henry Ruggs-esque.
He does have a need for speed. He also gets released next year.
Hey.
Shout out Henry Ruggs.
He's bad.
Let's bring him back on.
I genuinely
Ramp.
think he is the only one who has a chance to get close to Xavier Worthy's record. I think he for sure runs sub 4.28, and
Oh,
I
for
think
sure.
he definitely
Yeah.
has a chance at breaking it.
Yeah, I think it'll be super close. I think it'll be in that low 4.22 number. I think, what is his 4.21? Was that was Worthy's?
Yeah.
I think it's 4.
That was
Well, Worthy's is 4.20.
Oh, just flat?
4.20 flat.
Oh, okay.
Is that what it
I thought
was?
it was
No, it's
4.21.
I'm 90% sure.
I'm 100%.
Because it was the
Well,
fastest
seven.
time
Alright,
ever.
then,
And
alright.
I'm
Nice
pretty
one.
sure.
it was 4.21. That's what we thought.
Sure.
Oh,
Just making
yeah.
sure. Mike is
You
90.
you literally make
It's
things
crazy.
up.
No, I know.
He said
You have no
90%
reason.
sure. It's not even
And I was
like I
I'm
think.
telling you, it's not. You're like
We both said
I'm not-
4.21. I go 4.22, 4.21, and you're like 4.21.
I've seen you be wrong before, and I've seen you be
Yeah,
wrong
but
before.
you know what
so-
I just said? I said I think it's 4.21. Am I right? I don't know. You go, no, I'm 90% sure it's 4.20. No, I know.
But
trust
you
me,
just
like-
made that because that's
But
never
it completely
been.
made
Hey, you know what? Sometimes you gotta stand on your pillows.
All right, Michael. What other players
Yeah,
do you think
you
could
got-
challenge Arian Smith, or do you think he has a chance
Well,
to break
you know
it?
what's funny is I actually was banking. So I made a list of my top 5 guys who I think are gonna, be a potential top 5 in the 40, and I was banking on the human, physicalities and how the body breaks down, and so I
big
actually
anatomy
didn't
guy.
include Smith, Mr. Arian. No.
He'd include the fastest person.
Yeah, I did not include him because I was banking on his body breaking. So, starting off number 1.
Wait, is there any way you want to bet on that?
No, I don't.
Doesn't
no,
get
no,
a top
no,
five.
no, no,
Okay.
no. It's probably a losing bet.
right.
But
Oh,
number
one.
1, I have Mr. Tez Johnson at Oregon. This guy is small, but he's quick. He's mighty. He's kind of like the Demetrius Johnson of football and college football.
What
He's
is
a
that
little
pull?
mighty mouse.
That's a
He's a little
crazy
mighty
pull.
mouse. All right. Number two, we're gonna go with my guy, Mr. Isaiah Bond.
Yeah,
Let me tell you something about Mr. Isaiah
I think
Bond.
he runs a good number.
He was a high school state track champion for the 100-meter dash.
All
He
these
should have
guys were.
stayed in track.
All these guys were.
I mean, maybe. But
I think Isaiah Bond will run a top 3 or 4
I
in 40
bet
time.
Matthew Golden runs faster.
that's, I will bet.
I'll take that bet.
I'll
Baby
take
girl!
any money.
I'll take that bet.
250 right now.
I don't want.
250
No, he
right
doesn't
now.
want to
I'm
bet.
just
He doesn't
saying.
want to bet.
All right. Well, you're wrong. All right.
Yeah,
next.
we'll see.
Matthew
No,
Golden,
you're
yeah.
wrong. You're wrong.
It'll be
Next.
a wide margin.
Talk
Go
about a
Bulls
guy.
7, okay.
Talk about a guy who can run forwards and backwards.
He can't run backwards.
He can. His name is Darian Porter. He is a cornerback for Iowa State University, and he clocked during the Senior Bowl one of the fastest speeds at 21.2 6.26 miles an hour.
That means
Wow.
nothing.
That's pretty
Man,
good. Hey,
wow.
it means something. So
Jalen Milrow, the fastest speed last year.
yeah,
He ain't running.
whatever.
Did
Yeah,
Arch
I'm
hit
not-
like 21 miles per
I mean,
hour?
Arch-
Neither one of them went to a Senior Bowl, so you're wrong.
I never
ne-
said in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, well,
I also
I
said
said the Senior
How
Bowl.
would Arch play the Senior Bowl? All right,
That's
whatever.
why I said in
All right,
the Senior Bowl.
Continue,
Did
Mike.
Jalen Milrow
Four.
not play in the Senior Bowl?
he
Four.
did play in the
Okay,
Senior
just
Bowl.
Yeah,
making
he for sure did.
4. He didn't clock one of the top speed. I'll
But
tell you
the
that right
quarterback
now.
as well.
Number 4, Dylan Sampson.
I'll
Enough
give that
said.
one to you. He's
Enough
He's
said.
really fast.
Yeah.
And number 5, who I think is going to be number
I
5,
bet you he doesn't run the fastest for running back.
Travis Hunter. That's it.
Ooh, wow.
That's it.
I think you pretty much covered everyone for that 40. I don't know.
The 40.
Everything known to man.
Yeah, I was about to say, I guess, who do we think are going to be the top gainers from the combine? I mean, it could be 40 derived, but Mario, did you have any players that you were looking at you think after the combine and pro day, you think their stock is going to rise significantly?
I do have a few people. Let me get to my list here. I think this is just a personal opinion. I think Luther Burden's going to go out and have a good combine and kind of remind everyone, hey, I'm a great wide receiver. I think if he posts a really good 40 time as well, that's going to help him a lot because, you know, down season last season, but the season before, you know, he was regarded as top 3 wide
sure,
receiver in the nation,
Yeah.
and he kind of got thrown out the window this year. Some other people, the person who I had ranked number 2 in my top 10 QBs list, I think if Jackson Dart goes out and has a good day, which I think he will, he's one of those guys capable of having one of those Zach Wilson-esque, you know, like combine throws.
in the pro,
Just a
in
chuck
his
up
pro
a
day,
bit.
His pro
too.
day,
I
you know what I
feel
mean?
both,
Like,
yeah.
like he has a live arm, a huge arm, and it's going to make a lot of NFL teams be very interested, and someone will take the bait on him. And then the only one, Mike covered it, was I think Dylan Sampson is going to run a really fast 40 time, and I think that'll make him rise up some running back charts.
Run.
So
Yeah, I'm pretty much on board for every player you just said. Also, I just love every player you just said.
Yeah.
I actually think that Jalen Milrow, if I'm pretty sure he's playing. They said
Yeah.
he was on the fence, but I'm pretty sure
He is.
He is.
participating. He runs something absurd, which I think he can.
yeah.
Like if you just are a quarterback that can run it like a low 4.3 or something.
Oh, no
absurd.
fucking way.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling you,
that's
he's
really-
that
that's
fast.
way
Say,
too
he
quick.
can
No,
run
if
a
he runs sub
4.34.
4.4, that is crazy.
I would be shocked if he runs sub 4.
I think I think there might be a
sub
way where he's
4.3 is
Not.
That's
No,
not
no, I
ridiculous.
know he runs a low 4.3.
oh low 4.3.
Like 4.34,
I'd be
4.34.
shocked, but,
But
that'd,
regardless,
that'd be amazing. He-
I think he's the guy, like
Put
a
him at running
quarterback.
back.
When if you get to have the only aspect that no one else in the entire draft
Yeah.
has, that's interesting. I think he'll be up there, and I also think a lot of that. This is a much bigger defensive player year, in my opinion. Last year was a joke. I mean, there wasn't a defensive player at what 12 picks,
yeah.
13, whatever it was. There's a lot of good guys this year, and guys that are participating, like James Pierce from Tennessee. You have the Nick Scorton guy from Texas A&M. I just
Yeah.
think there's a lot of good guys that will prove, because that's where you're doing the reps, you're running, you're doing the blocking into the quarterback. I think a lot of defensive guys are gonna move up. So I think you'll see a lot of guys creep in the top 10. But I think for sure, Jalen Milrow is my number one. I just think as a quarterback, you can show so much, and people just are obsessed with the idea of getting a backup quarterback.
No, I could see if he runs 4.34, that would be just an electricity. I mean, that
When he was playing on the field,
he's
felt
fast,
like
but
there was-
4.3 is like. I mean, Devin Hester ran 4.45. Saquon ran 4.4.
Some
Like
people-
these are
He's
like
fast, but Milrow can't throw.
Yeah, I mean, I think we've covered that. I have a couple players. A lot of these guys are on the defensive side. I really want to focus on defense, then I'll bring up some offensive guys. First, Travis Hunter. I don't know how much higher he can go, but I think he crushes the combine.
I'm sure.
He's going as a corner. Like you said, for his 40, I think he runs between a 4.3 and a 4.4. That's what they've been saying he's clocking in at. I think he crushes the corner drills. He for sure has the best hands of any corner. So all of the drills where they're doing like the 4 cone and the interception things, he probably doesn't drop a pass in any of those. I think he crushes probably at the pro day then after doing corner drills at the combine. We'll go in the pro day, catch passes from Shador at their pro day and look like an elite wide receiver as well. I think he'll cover all the buckets, lock himself up as a consensus top 5 pick. Next, Arian Smith. I think him not doing the combine is actually really helpful. I don't think he would have hurt himself, but if he's plus 150 right now to be the first pick in the draft, he's not going to play. Everyone saw him
who?
play
Arian Smith?
I think you just read the wrong name.
Yeah.
You meant Cam Ward.
Abdul Carter. Sorry.
Abdul Carter.
I was like, what?
Abdul Carter. No, Arian Smith was the next name on my list. Sorry about that. Yeah, Abdul Carter, I think, is doing himself a huge favor by not doing the
agree,
pro
yeah.
day. Everyone saw him play. They saw what he did. with one arm in the college football playoffs. There's nothing that he can improve on. He's going to be the number one defensive player taken,
not
in my
close to,
opinion.
that's why.
So I think, that's a smart decision to step away. I'm going to bring up Cam Ward and Shedeur at the end, and we can all talk about Shedeur stepping out and all that. Couple more. We already talked about Arian Smith. Sorry, who's the next name on my list. Two kind of sleeper players that I think are going to rise up boards a lot. This guy's not necessarily a sleeper, but he's a freak athlete. He's a safety from South Carolina, Nick Amenwari.
Oh yeah.
This guy is an absolute freak of nature. He's 6'3.5", 230 at safety, 88 tackles, 4 picks, and 2 pick sixes with freakish speed and strength. I think he just goes in the combine and looks like those athletes that South Carolina puts out. He's already graded as a high first-round draft pick. I think there's a world he sneaks up into the top of the class, ends up getting picked, like as safety 1, maybe, ahead of some of the corners that we think are going to go really high. So I keep an eye on him. And last one, this is kind of a deeper pull as a player. He played 3 games for Eastern Carolina last year, but he's nice. Shavon Revel Jr.
Shavon Revel.
So this guy,
Junior.
I can already, this
JR.
is my defensive Mel Kiper overhyped player of the draft. I'm calling it now. I'm going to be betting on him to get selected in the top 20 picks if I can, for sure, in the first round. I can already see the writing on the wall. Mel Kiper in one of his 4 mock drafts has had this guy sneak in the first round. 6'3" corner is going to weigh in around 200 pounds. Unranked in high school, played 3 games in 2024, got 8 tackles and 2 picks in those 3 games. He's going to crush all the physical drills. All the reports about this guy are that he's extremely fast. He's one of the longest wingspan corners, catches everything. And you know how every draft Mel Kiper just has those players?
Yeah, he
or they
finds
see
them.
those players that don't have the stats in college,
Just go like
but they
this.
just look like freaks at the combine. I think it's this kid, and so I wouldn't be surprised if he sneaks up there. I don't know, anyone else have any other sleepers or people they think are going to jump up, or we can go ahead and talk about the guys at the top of the draft?
I mean, at least for like relevancy, I have Xavier Restrepo as one person who I feel like was really low on the bottom of the list for like the receivers that are going to a combine. And when you look at like the actual pro analysis of like their strengths and weaknesses, really the biggest chunk of his weakness was his physical attributes, saying that like, you know, he has short arms. It's gonna be difficult for him to just like, you know, make space because of his size. And, you know, in my personal opinion, I think if he does a good job at the combine, shows his physical attributes, it's like, you know, Cam Ward, who I personally think is the number 1 quarterback in this class, but at the end of the day, he's still a college quarterback. Like, dude, you give him a NFL starting quarterback, they're going to get the ball in his hands. Like, if Cam Ward could do it, Mac Jones could do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
Whoa.
Well,
I mean,
wow.
what?
That's I don't
Uh,
You think
yeah.
Mac Jones is a better quarterback than Cam Ward?
no. I mean, that might be a little bit of a stretch.
A
but
little bit. You
little
said
bit
if Cam Ward can do it, Mac
If
Jones.
Cam Ward
can we
can-
clip that?
If Cam Ward can do it,
Hey,
Kirk
that might not be
Cousins could
crazy
do
in a
it.
few years.
You know what I'm saying?
Hold on to that one, Mike. Just hold on to
Yeah,
that
keep
back
that
pocket.
in your back
Bo
pocket.
Nix could do it. You know what I'm saying? And so, I think that's one of them. And another guy is a lot deeper and less of a, you know, genuine prediction, but more of a hope, is my boy Curtis Rourke. I mean, you know, Curtis has a lot of trouble with
Everything.
well, he has a lot of trouble with like leading his receivers when they're
Leading
moving
teams to victories.
and
Reading defenses.
Anything. Just general.
He has a
football.
tendency to not be
Overall.
able to throw
Overall
in a
quarterback.
window.
There's windows that aren't.
So what's your
tight.
analysis? You think he's going to see?
Well,
It's a hooked on a feeling.
He's
type
just kind of
player.
hoping.
I just really hope he does well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait. One person.
Yeah.
I needed to find this guy. This is a total just gut feel. No stats to back this up. But I think if this guy goes out and has a good combine, he could be sneakily moving up boards for wide receivers. The dude from Stanford, Elik Ayomanor.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think he's probably top 3 receiver in the class.
Really?
I'm
psycho.
I'm obsessed with him. Well, Ryan knows I've been talking about this kid since 2 years ago.
We watched
No,
that.
this guy is
When he
just
destroyed
6'2",
Travis Hunter.
210, 250.
yeah.
Like, he's a freak, like, specimen physically wise. And I think if he can put out a good number on that 40,
The Fody.
I mean, anything sub 4.5 for him would be great.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, at that height.
No, I'm with you on that. I think he's extremely slept on. I think someone's getting a gem. We saw what he did to Travis Hunter 2 years ago when he went for like 360
Oh, yeah.
receiving yards,
Had the
4
damn
touchdowns
flat,
in that overtime game. He's been good. He's just on Stanford.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
he just didn't transfer. If he transferred to a Miami, you're talking about him in the first round or early second
We'll
round,
see how
whatever.
nice he is.
One other player I want to bring up on the defensive side before we move to offense and talk, just the two main quarterbacks. Does anyone think Mason Graham is going to get drafted really, really, really high?
Yeah, he's gonna draft at like 7.
I think there's a chance he goes like top 5.
I mean, yeah, it's possible.
I think I don't know his body, like his size, is just so crazy. And I know he's going to be one of those Michigan guys that just puts up insane like bench press numbers and looks at the combine.
You get a Big Ten
6'3"
defensive
and a
end
half,
player.
325.
Yeah, he's
I know he
huge.
had 3.5 sacks last year, but their Michigan defense was stacked. He's playing on the inside.
I mean, he's gonna be a freak in that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be one of those guys
Yeah.
that's going to
Maybe he creeps up in that top little.
I think him and Abdul Carter are going to go like
Right back to back.
real
Yeah.
close together.
Probably.
Him, Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, and then the 2 quarterbacks. That's my top 5 if I had to guess who's getting drafted first. But
Rich Shador stays in there. Yeah.
well, that's what I want to talk about. So Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. As of now, we're filming Monday night.
Yeah.
This is getting posted right after, but Cam Ward's still undecided. He'll have a pro day. Don't know about the combine. All the other main quarterbacks are throwing besides Shedeur Sanders, who's only throwing at his pro day, but he's showing up for interviews. I don't remember. I think it was like half the quarterbacks last year did that, right?
Yeah.
It was like all of the main quarterbacks did that. Mario, do you think this hurts him? Because I've heard quite a few takes from even Shedeur Sanders guys, like Colorado fans on ESPN the last day or two since this came out, saying, I don't really know what he's doing here. There's no chance he gets drafted in the top 3 now.
To be honest, I don't think this hurts him. I think if he goes out and has a good pro day, I feel like at this point there's no surprises. Like everyone knows what Shedeur is. You know what you're getting. And I think doing this coming off the year that a lot of the rookies had last year in the NFL, when a lot of them did the same thing. I mean, I know Jaden Daniels said he had an injury, but I mean the dude could have gone to the combine if he really
easily,
you know what I mean?
For
Like
sure.
there's I don't know. I mean, the reason he did it or the reason he didn't go to the combine last year, I don't know, but it didn't hurt Jaden Daniels at all. I don't think it's going to hurt Shedeur Sanders at all.
Caleb didn't do it either, right?
Caleb didn't do it.
None of
Jaden
them.
Daniels and
The one they did with
Drake
Drake
May?
May.
Drake May did do
and
it.
Michael Penix did it, right?
Penix, yeah.
What do you think, Ray?
I don't think it affects them at all. I also think a lot of these guys, the people that want Shedeur Sanders, already know
Yeah.
what they're getting. Nothing you're going to see at a combine is going to change anything, really, in my opinion. I mean, he's not the fastest guy. He doesn't throw the fastest ball. His arm isn't the best and you've seen. So, I think a pro day where you're comfortable, you're with the people you know, is much better. Just lock in. I mean, like I said, I don't think it'll affect anything. Maybe a couple teams leave the bubble or join the bubble from watching it, but I think people know.
I want to say real quick too.
Yeah.
I think from Shedeur's perspective, because I think a lot of people, as we're getting closer to this combine or this draft, people are starting to put. I'm seeing Cam Ward ahead of Shedeur Sanders a lot more. Before I felt like
He's
it
a
was,
big favorite over Shedeur.
Yeah, and a few months ago I thought it was like Shedeur was kind of the favorite over Cam, and then it kind of has shifted as we're getting closer.
It has moved quite a bit.
I think from the Shedeur Sanders camp, from their perspective, having his name just always talked about is just better for them, for his brand, for everything Shedeur. He always needs to be in ESPN. He always needs to be talked about. I think him sitting out is just another reason for people to talk about him on ESPN.
Oh, yeah.
Another reason just
The
keep
Colorado
saying
special.
you just keep saying Shedeur Sanders, and then all of us I think no matter what, that locks him in the top 3. So.
Yeah, I don't really disagree with that at all. I also think Shedeur's been told by the team he's going to get drafted by.
Yeah, probably.
So I'm pretty sure the odds, you can't tell everything by Vegas odds, but usually they're a beat or two ahead of the public, right? Shedeur was minus money or pick 'em towards the end of the college football season. Then it went him and Cam Ward were neck and neck. Shedeur right now to be the first pick is plus 750 and Cam Ward's minus 140.
Yeah.
This is out of all players.
Yeah.
So, I think it's pretty set in stone he's not going to be number 1. And I kind of agree with you that keeping his name in the press, keeping him top of mind kind of will let
in the
whatever
mix.
team that drafts him just be comfortable doing it. I think he'll end up going at that 3, 4, 5, 6 number. One of those picks, whether it's, the Browns take him or the Giants take him or someone trades in and goes and grabs him. But I also think this was pretty strategic from a standpoint of what does the combine measure? Speed,
Speed, strength.
speed,
attributes.
Like I said,
height,
he doesn't have any
weight,
of that.
strength, how fast you can throw a football. They do mile per. None of those. Yeah, you're totally right. None of those are the Shedeur Sanders
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
You're drafting him for really how cerebral he is, how much he understands football, his ability to lead a team, his ability to call
Literally, like, that and
improv
accuracy
plays.
is
Yeah,
what
and
you're
accuracy. And then
banking on.
but you're going to go to the combine, you're going to see a Jackson Dart throwing the ball next to Shedeur Sanders. He's going to be throwing it the same accuracy.
There's no difference. Wait a second.
30% harder.
Yeah, I can get this 3 rounds.
And
later.
like 20 yards deeper, like,
Totally. Like, if you really think about it, besides his name, Shedeur Sanders, how much he's in ESPN, is there any reason he's ahead of Jackson Dart?
That's why I wanted to say this real quick just to throw it out there. But I know we've all seen the movie Draft Day, right? I don't know what the quarterback's name was.
Bo Campbell or something?
Bo something, whatever it was. I think that's going to be the Shedeur Sanders of this year, where he drops and he drops.
Bo Callahan.
Bo Callahan.
Bo Callahan.
Supposed to be the #1 pick, and he just dropped and dropped, and no one took him.
Please.
I have a weird feeling
Please.
that it's going to be Draft Day 2.0,
Oh,
and he's
God.
just going to.
Yeah.
When people just do
Bye-bye.
people are going to do the analysis you just did and say, I could spend 90 picks later and get an almost equal quarterback without the name. Do we need to sell jerseys in the NFL? I mean, maybe that's a big factor if you want to bring in like the fame, but like I have a weird feeling that he's just all these players are much better than him.
No, before we wrap it up,
That's lit.
I also kind of does anyone think it's a safer bet to take Shedeur Sanders because of how high he's ranked? Not for how the team's going to perform, but a lot of these teams towards the back of the draft, I always think about this when you look at the Jaden Daniels stuff. From what was it? It was the Giants GM, right, on the Hard Knocks when they were talking
He's
about who
asking
should we
his kids.
draft, and then talking about trading Saquon. And he's like, Dad, you only got 1 year at this. Like, take your shot. And then he went and traded him away and didn't get Jaden Daniels. He's now no longer the GM.
Yeah.
Right? So I feel like when you're a GM, if you just do what the general public and ESPN say you should do, it kind of saves
You'll keep your
your
job for at
Yeah,
least
you'll keep
2
your
years.
job.
almost rather than
Yep.
doing the long-term best thing for the team when it's not actually in the GM's best interest if they're on like a year-to-year type deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're a GM of a team like the Chiefs, Eagles, Steelers, whatever,
matter what
you can
Broncos,
look
yeah.
4 or 5 years in the future.
Yeah.
If you're picking at the front of the draft, you're the Browns GM. You're
in
the
the hot
Giants
seat
GM.
already.
Yeah, you're coming
yeah.
into a
There's a lot more
revolving door.
factors than just the player itself.
That's
I
what I'm
agree.
saying. So I feel like it's almost
advantageous to take
just
Shedeur.
to take him with the name. If you're wrong, they're not gonna they're never gonna blame the GM that drafts Shedeur for drafting Shedeur.
It's like Caleb Williams. Like when Caleb Williams turns out to be an absolute bust, nobody's gonna get mad at the Chicago Bears, front office.
if he does become a
like
bust,
what you
I
asked
agree.
him.
They're not gonna get mad at the front office for drafting him.
I mean, he should
He's the
be
consensus
stoned.
#1 overall pick.
He should
Yeah.
be stoned.
All
but-
teams agreed.
No, I mean I disagreed, but
You did disagree.
nobody
Well,
ever
Mike's
asked
not a
me.
team.
Mike's often right.
Mike has a team.
What did Xavier Worthy run again?
4-2-1.
4-2-1.
Oh, that should
thanks
make
for
sure.
that. But yeah, let us know in the comments who you think is
like
going to
deep
outperform
sea.
at the combine. You
Jack
are like
Beck,
deep sea.
TCU.
Yeah, I learn and
you're-
I adapt.
But
And
you told me you weren't Chinese.
I'm not Chinese, but I learn and
Well,
I adapt. and
Mongolian is part. I mean, it's,
No. That's not the part.
They
I
did
want.
kind of take over.
No,
yeah.
but I learn. Is
Michael
what I mean.
is
I
basically
learn
deep
and I
sea.
improve.
Yeah, that's a good point.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm an A. Wait,
He's like he's like down seek.
Down seek. Seek down under. Mike's playing under the table.
I think I'm getting insulted.
No, never that.
What?
But Seek
Let us.
Deep is his Korean name.
No, nope,
Seek Deep.
nope,
That is-
Seek Deep.
nope.
That's
That kind of
tried to- I
that
tried-
kind of rhymes with my Korean
I
name,
tried
but
to wrap
no.
up the episode.
got him.
Let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen this combine. How are these quarterbacks going to shake out after the combine? There's always 1 or 2 players that just shoot up draft boards.
Yeah.
Wonder if we called one of them on this podcast. Maybe we
Let's
didn't.
do it right now.
If we didn't,
One player. You pick any player in the entire draft to be top, like be the best player, be the whatever, not Jaden Daniels, but be like absurd.
I'm going with my safety, Nick Emanuwari. I think he goes from borderline first round to a top 15.
Get him a
20.
starting job and then he goes crazy next year.
Yep. That's my-
Give me.
that's my-
I want Jack Beck from TCU. That's my wide receiver. Dog.
Darian Porter,
Darian Porter.
cornerback,
cornerback.
Iowa State.
Iowa State.
Yeah, you already
Alright,
said that.
what's the
I
point?
like it.
A guy that
Somebody.
no one's talked about. Tyler Show.
Ah.
Louisville quarterback.
All right, I like that. All right, one of us will be right.
Has a crusher combine.
Let us.
Hey,
Wasn't he like 6'6"? So
Yeah,
He's
chill.
got a
saying.
long john on him.
what?
let us know in the
Silver.
comments before we say anything else we need to cut out. Who's going to be the best player in the combine? Who's going to be the fastest mover? We're talking NFL draft
Moving
pretty
quick.
much every week, talking after this and March Madness. So stay locked in with us.